The next morning, I set off to explore Guadeloupe's largest and most rugged island, Basse-Terre. Up throughout the islands you can still find farmers using these traditional ox carts, and during the cooler months they actually have tug-of-war competitions. I'm on the rainforest in North Basse-Terre, the largest of the Guadeloupe Islands. Basse-Terre actually means lowland. Really ironic considering this is actually the mountainous part of the Guadeloupe Island. Yeah, this island is also volcanic, unlike Grande Terre where we're staying, which is karstic. This region we're in here is south of Sainte-Rose, called Grande Soufriere, is actually renowned for its therapeutic sulfur waters. Oh wow, leaf cutter ants. Yeah, hot leaf cutter ants. Well, that's cool. I've never seen leaf cutter ants before. I didn't know they happened here. I don't know what that sign means. We're a few miles north of the town of Deshaies, and this area is known for having the best beaches on Basse-Terre and also some of the best beaches in all of Guadeloupe. Where we are is more white, here is more golden. As you can see, there's no sargassum over here. It's also quieter and less crowded on this side and more scenic. The only issue is it's kind of far from everything.
This beach is so good.
I already like this side of the island better.
The ocean today is very calm.
But sometimes it's rough here?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The most beautiful of these beaches is Grande Soufriere, which actually translates to big or great bay, and in fact it's actually the largest and longest beach in the Guadeloupe Island. Yeah, I think our side has more tourist amenities, but if you're looking for something quieter and more pristine, I want to try this side. If I have more time, I'd try some snorkeling because that water looks so nice, and I heard there's good reefs over here. We're driving through a small town of Deshaies. It's noteworthy for having preserved most of its primeval flora. It's where you'll find all the hotels on Basse-Terre. It's also noteworthy for having the deepest and best protected bay in the Caribbean, which made it an ideal hideout for fugitive slaves, pirates, and other hostile seafarers, which resulted in frequent raids. And by 1822, the population had plummeted to less than 500, and the residents here also strongly supported the French Revolution.
Yesterday on the boat was couple. They were sitting together, but one was holding the phone and
the other most famous attraction on this part of the island, in addition to the beach, is the Deshaies Botanical Garden. The gardens were opened in 2001 on the private property that once belonged to French comedian Coluche, who already had amassed quite an impressive collection of rare plants. The gardens are home to more than 1,000 rare species from all over the world, about 200 of which are local and native to Guadeloupe. Oh, the nice worker that took a picture of us. He offered himself. Garden's most famous attraction are these Rainbow Lorikeets, native to Australia. These are sort of the main reason I came here. One of its most noteworthy plants are these calicut palms, native to India and Sri Lanka. This species of palm is noteworthy for having the largest inflorescence or complete flower head of any plant in the world.
Les racines vont chercher l'eau, et les liens vont chercher le soleil.
This tree behind me is one I'm familiar with, called a banyan tree. One of the park's most famous features is this man-made waterfall.
Lézard vert. C'est le lézard vert de la Nord-Caraïbe.
That's the one tree definitely don't want to grab. Now, I'm no expert, but these look like petroglyphs to me. That clearly looks like a face, and I know there are a lot of petroglyphs on this island.
Moins te comprendre la vie de Paris, c'était Pigalle, c'était Barbès. Moins reste pris devant grande déception. Moins fait un bon voyage en avion. Moins ouais, cinéma, moins manger, moins bien, moins dormi, moins levé. Ah bon, c'était français. Moins t'es capable, mais les moins arrivés à Paris. Moins dormi des rois, moins dormi des rois, moins dormi en allô. Moins dormi des rois, moins dormi en tout à mes frères. Aïe, café fret, qu'on voit nos frigidaires.
Just offshore was the Cousteau Reserve in Pigeon Islands, which Cousteau himself once dubbed one of the world's top dive sites. But we don't have time to check it out today.
Je t'aime. Bonjour. And what else? Merci beaucoup.
Au revoir.
You know more and you don't even realize, because I was surprised we have some words in Polish that they use in France, like chantage, kask, ananas, mebel, koszmar, beton. So some similar to like you guys say bijou, we say bijouteria, you say grip, we say gripa, you guys say bouche, we say boucha for mouth. Yeah, I was very surprised. I wonder if that's because we had an alliance with Napoleon. And then someone said French was used in Imperial Russia by the nobles, so I wonder this.
Oh. Like we can eat outside, but like some.
We're in the small town of Baillif, one of the oldest settlements on Guadeloupe, ravaged by the English between 1691 and 1703. In the surrounding hills were found some of the oldest Amerindian artifacts and petroglyphs. Right here we have the main landmark, the ruins of an old defense tower that unfortunately failed to defend the town against the English in 1703, and was actually named after a Dominican soldier and missionary, Jean-Baptiste Labat, who found a mission on this site and was tasked with the construction of the island's defense towers. The tower housed a fire room and more than a dozen men could stand here. And there she is, La Grande Soufriere, or La Vieille Dame, the old lady. Towering just over 4,800 feet above sea level, this active stratovolcano is the highest peak in the Lesser Antilles. The most recent eruptions occurred between 1975 and 77, but unlike the unfortunate 5,000 victims of an 1843 eruption, no lives were lost, as nearly 72,000 residents from this part of the island had been evacuated in August of 1976. The eruption ended up not being as severe as scientists speculated, but better safe than sorry. When German filmmaker Werner Herzog arrived in Basse-Terre during this time, he found the place completely deserted, aside from one stubborn man who refused to leave his home on the slopes of the volcano. He can order because he speaks French. We're traveling through a small town of Saint-Claude. Located at the base of the La Soufriere volcano at an elevation of just over 1,700 feet, Saint-Claude is the highest town in the Lesser Antilles. And here's the University of the Antilles. It's popular with people seeking a slightly cooler, milder climate. Oh, we've just entered the Guadeloupe National Park. Established in 1989, this 43,000-acre park was the first national park outside of metropolitan France. This UNESCO Biosphere Reserve boasts over 30 waterfalls. Yeah, it's amazing how you just cross a bridge and you're in a completely different environment. That's what's neat about Guadeloupe. People say that Guadeloupe doesn't really feel like the Caribbean, but Basse-Terre seems to have a lot more Creole influence and a bit more of that stereotypical Caribbean feel.
Charles Aznavour, Edith Piaf,
Jean-Jacques Goldman, Salvatore Adamo.
Fire. Only 1 week.
Yeah, they work and work and work.
In Europe, no, people don't like. They need vacation. They need a break from work, yeah?
Yeah, there's no work-life balance. This is Basse-Terre, founded in 1635, it is Guadeloupe's capital and oldest settlement, and also one of the oldest French colonial towns in the Caribbean. In 1913, it was the first city on Guadeloupe to get electricity. The town also holds the record for the heaviest rainfall ever recorded, 1.5 inches in just a minute. Yeah, I've heard people say this is a nice alternative to Ponte Pietre if you want to experience a colonial town. And position-wise, this would probably be the best place to stay, but there aren't really any beaches or hotels over here. The town is also the location of the island's oldest and largest fort. Constructed in 1650, it was here where in the late 18th and the early 19th century, a French politician by the name of Louis Delgres and 3,000 slaves fought against the reinstitution of slavery by Napoleon Bonaparte, after it had been abolished by the British. It was the last battle that would ever be fought at the fort. After being driven out, him and 300 of his followers took refuge at a nearby plantation where they eventually blew themselves up, taking with them a large number of French troops. Slavery wouldn't be permanently abolished until 1848, but will be replaced with indentured servitude of East and South Asians. Horizon, you can see the Îles Laissance where we were yesterday. Oh wow. Over there in the distance we can see Guadeloupe's most famous natural attraction, the Chutes du Carbet. The first and highest cascade is 377 feet, the second cascade is 360 feet and is the most easily accessible, and the third cascade, which is the least accessible, is just 66 feet but has the greatest volume of water of any waterfall on Guadeloupe. And we picked up a local regional delicacy called a Kassava Sandwitch. So it's like corn bread. So I just got back from Basse-Terre and I'm disappointed to say the least. The driver we booked had really good reviews online, but aside from the botanical gardens, he didn't take us to any of the places we wanted to see. The view of the falls was a complete joke. He took us to the other side of the fort and lied that it's closed. I don't know if I'm gonna try to do another tour to Basse-Terre to see it better. I feel incredibly ripped off.